This video is going to do a walkthrough of how to create an assignment in Moodle. You can start by going into the course where you would like to create the assignment. Make sure that you have your editing turned on. Top right-hand side of your screen. Scroll down and find the block where you would like to create the assignment. Within that block, you can select Add an Activity or Resource. If you're not seeing this as an option, check under your Administration tab on the left-hand side and see if your activity chooser is off. If it looks different, you can click that and you should be able to get the same option that I have here. Assignment is the very first option under Activities. Go ahead and select that and we can add that in. It's going to ask you to give your assignment a name. It's also going to ask for a description. You will want to provide your students with all of the instructions that they will need to complete the assignment. You can do this through text, images, links to different web pages, and videos. I will just quickly show you some options for adding in images, links, and videos. So if you would like to add in an image, on the edit options within this box, you'll find the picture. If you hover over it, it'll say insert or edit image. Go ahead and click that and it'll give you the option to find or upload an image from your computer. Right beside that image is the option to insert Moodle media, and that'll help you upload your own video. If you would like to link to a web page or maybe a YouTube video, highlight some of the text and then click on the link option where you'll be able to copy and paste your web link right in there. You can also change the target if you want it to open up in a new window or if you're okay for students just viewing it within that assignment there. You can decide if you want to display that description on the course page. We don't recommend that if there's a lot of info in that description, as it'll clog up the student's course homepage and make them have to scroll for finding other course content. I'm just going to expand all on the top right hand side here so that it opens up all my settings and we can go ahead and walk through each section here. Under availability is where you can give an allotted time for when students can submit their assignments so that you're not getting submissions at random times before the assignment is due or after. Ensure that your students are aware of when they need to be making a submission. Allow submissions from. We'll set an opening date for when the student will be allowed to submit their assignments. The cutoff date is when students will no longer be able to submit an assignment. The due date is a little different in that when that date passes, students will still be able to submit until the cutoff date, but their paper will be marked as late. There's also the option here to click off Always Show Description, and that's going to show the students the instructions that you left in the description up top here, even if the assignment isn't open. If you uncheck that, students will not be able to see the instructions until that submission date has opened up. Submission types will help you monitor what your students are submitting. You might want to just leave file submissions checked off if you'd like students to submit Word docs, PDFs, that sort of thing, whereas checking off the online text will give students a space right in Moodle to type or to copy and paste something right into Moodle. The maximum number of uploaded files is per student. So if they're only uploading one document, you can leave that at 1. But if they're having to upload a couple different things, you might want to change that number so that they are allowed to submit more than one thing to you. The maximum submission size is very dependent on the project that you're working with. Under feedback types, checking off feedback comments gives a space for markers to leave notes while they are marking the assignment. Checking off feedback files is useful if you would like to add notes to a student's assignment. Maybe if you'd like to download a Word doc out, mark it up for them, and then submit it back to them. Moving on to submission settings, if you check off Require Students Click Submission button as no, students can go in and actually make changes to their assignment until that date passes that they can no longer do that. If you set that to yes, once the student submits, there's no going back. They have one opportunity to submit, and then it's gone away to the instructor. You can also decide here if you want students to have to accept that they are submitting their assignment, and you're even able to further define the submission statement. Maybe you'll want students to, for example, agree that their work that they are submitting is their own. You can also give attempts to resubmit. You might want to set that attempts reopened to automatically until pass as an option, so that students who don't receive a passing grade can resubmit. But if you do that, you might want to set that maximum attempts to 2 or 3 so that they aren't submitting you 5 assignments. In group submission settings, you can decide if you want to have group assignments, or whether or not it's okay maybe for one person in the group to submit, or if you'd like everyone in the class to have to submit some kind of contribution. Grouping will allow you to apply groups that you've already created in Moodle for this particular assignment. Under notifications, if you would like to have a notification each time a student submits, make sure and go ahead and check that to yes. Otherwise, leave as no. The same goes for late assignments. Maybe you only want to know about the late assignments that are coming in, so you can talk to those students individually. Under grade, you can specify what the max grade is going to be for that assignment. You can also choose a grading method. By default, it will go with simple direct grading, which will set it up so that you can enter in the grades for your assignment manually into Gradebook. Blind marking makes it so the assignment doesn't have the student's name on the assignment that you're marking. You can reveal the students' identities after you are finished marking. If you turn on marking workflow, you will have to update where you are at with an assignment, so students can see whether their submission is under review, if it's not marked, or if it is, and if it's ready for release. Under common module settings, of course, here's where you can allow the assignment to show, or you can hide that or close the eye on it so that students cannot see it or access it until you are ready to do that. You'll also have to set up the group mode if that's what you chose to do up above. Now, depending on the opening and closing dates of your submission, you can create further restriction access settings right at the bottom here. I'm going to go ahead and save and display my assignment. Now we can take a look at how it is going to be set up for student view. So that's the basics to creating an assignment in Moodle. Thanks for watching.